Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Corner Talks podcast. Today, I have a very good friend of mine, entrepreneur, a filmmaker, Christian, Alphonse. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Doing well, and you, man? How's it going?
I'm doing well, thank you, man. I'm like we discussed before the podcast. I'm adjusting to the new world. Post pandemic. I'm awaiting what's to come. That's going to be basically the theme of this episode. But is this the same for you? Are you just anticipating the changes?
Yeah, man. I'm excited to be finally back outside. Got a haircut today, which is great. Finally
Fresh
saw my
cut.
barber. I haven't seen my barber in months, man. Like he already's raising a family. It's
No visit to
crazy,
the
man.
house. No visit to the house. You didn't do those secret like basement
No,
sessions. No,
no,
nothing.
no. I didn't do those back doors, places to meet up. I don't do that. So, I just go straight to the shop, double mask like always,
Yeah, of
and
course.
get
Oh,
my
double
cut.
mask. I love it.
Double, I'm a
Delta
I'm a double mask guy, man. I don't take
Delta
no
variant
risks.
on the rise, or what's going on?
I don't know, man. Like I don't know all these mutations that's happening. You know, even Fauci said yesterday that like he will put a mask if he goes to a city that has low vaccination rate. So far, like I've been listening to that guy. So I'm gonna double mask
That's kind
until.
of smart. So
Yeah, man.
I guess a question that's on everyone's mind, or like they
Mm.
don't know, like when you go out with friends and stuff, are you still wearing the mask, or you take it off eventually?
Well, I eventually take it off because all my
Okay.
friends are vaccinated. Most of them are
Yeah,
double
that makes
vaccinated
sense.
already. So
Right.
like I trust them and they trust me. But for out and about, we go to a restaurant. I might mask up. I might.
Of course, bro.
I don't know these people, man. You don't know who's anti-vaxxer
You don't
anymore.
know
You
if
don't
the
know who.
waitress might have it, right?
Yeah, well, you don't know. I still don't know this thing.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I'm
We're
learning
all we're
day
all
by
just going
day.
with emotions, really, right? And then in
Yeah,
5 years, they'll let
exactly.
us know the side effects.
By the way, you're gonna have a fifth ear that's gonna grow right beside your fourth ear and your third ear. Okay.
Christian's gonna,
But
yeah, Christian's gonna
go ahead.
panic.
But
No,
like,
no,
you're
no. Yeah.
vaccinated, right?
I got the first dose.
Nice.
I feel like
Pfizer.
Ottawa's, yeah, Pfizer, bro. Yeah. Family, the whole family got Pfizer. We're just waiting on the second dose. We want it to be Pfizer. I heard there's speculation or a little bit of uneasiness with people not wanting the second dose to be mixed, like a different vaccine. And I know the government is very upset about this.
It's so funny. I'm so happy you said that because I was gonna bring that up to you.
Oh yeah, so tell me, man, what's up?
So I got my vaccine. I got vaccinated today. My last vaccine, my second vaccine.
Nice.
And the nurse was like, "Do you want to do Moderna or Pfizer?" I'm like, "Are people like picking and choosing? Like they go Pfizer first and Moderna second, thinking
Right,
that's just
right.
gonna change the chemicals? Like it's the same thing."
Well, it's a technology, right? The mRNA, unless it's like Novax or something, right? Like some
Ah
foreign.
man, is the technology? There's a difference between both of them?
I heard the effects are different on the body, but I know the technology is very similar. I could be wrong, but I know it
Yeah,
has at its core the mRNA technology,
yeah,
right?
it's the same thing. I don't
And
know,
a lot
but
of people
like,
I know already like mixed it. It's all preferential thing, right? And it is your right because you're putting in your body, so you're gonna
hmm,
have situations like myself where do I prefer Pfizer? Yeah, so I'll gun for
yeah,
it, right? But at the
that's what I
same
did.
time, I can see why the government is cracking down because we have this pandemic to fight. It's like almost like a war we have
Yeah.
to win. But nevertheless, it's everyone's prerogative, right? Like everyone has an opinion, like with anything, and they have
Hmm.
to feel comfortable and safe. The good news is that people are more willing and forthcoming to take this vaccine, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll see. I
Well, we'll
saw
see.
the.
Yeah, but so far so good. Like maybe social
We'll
media
see,
doesn't do it.
man.
Maybe social media doesn't do it justice. I know you and I have qualms about this, but you
Yo,
go on social
man.
media, everybody's vaccinated and living life to their fullest.
Man, you know me, man. I think social media is not real, man. Like, you know me, man. If
I,
I'm not there, it didn't happen. I don't believe it. Like,
I
you know the
said,
saying, if
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
if it's an IG, it's real. I don't believe in that,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. No, no. The one I can't get over, my soundbite for 2021 is industry plants.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
at first, I thought you were talking about some kind of like plant, for
Hmm.
lack of a better word. But you actually meant seeds in the industry. These hidden figures, kind of dropping certain influences, right?
Yeah, like
To make these
yeah.
these people more popular than what they are.
Yeah, exactly. They're being made in a boardroom. Come
Yeah.
on, like we both know that's true. They did market research on this.
No, yeah, for sure, man. But at the same time, yeah, it's an interesting world, man, with marketing and social media. That's for sure. And if if I
People,
wasn't there, it
social
didn't
media is
happen. I
not
love
real.
it.
I'm gonna tell your audience that social media is not real. Your friends are not having that much fun. They're bored. They're just seeming to having fun.
Christian's
That
laying down
IG
the
model doesn't look like what she looks like in real life. That guy that has a lot of money is broke.
Christian's
If
laying
he's
down
flying
the
a private
facts.
jet, it's not a private jet. It's a photo shoot. It's a photo op. You read that
It's a
story,
set.
right?
It's a set on a soundstage, bro. I saw a
Yeah,
girl. This girl literally like set up a little set,
yeah,
where she was staring outside of a commercial airline, and it was the full thing, like a seat and the wall and the window. And I'm like, these people really go above and beyond. There's even a guy that was given hacks on how to reach that, and he was like,
yeah,
grab a toilet seat, flip it upside down, go next to
yeah,
it. And I was like laughing, but I'm like, wow, that looks believable, because the naked eye tricks you, right? You're saying,
yeah.
fuck, like, how did that happen?
Man, you could do a
But
lot right now on social media. You can do a
yeah,
lot.
man, people are getting consumed for sure, and I'm guilty of it too, right? Because we're home,
Hmm.
we're cooped up, and it's kind of like the only sense of reality we have right now. But things hopefully become better for the sake of our mental health, because I know it's taking a toll eventually, right? On
Hmm.
everybody, right? Always staring at your phones, always working from
Yep.
home. What are your
Yep.
thoughts on that, man? How's work going? Are they stressing you out, or are you doing fine?
I'm doing fine at work.
Good, man.
Doing fine at work. There's a light to the end of my tunnel at work, which is good. Biggest
Nice.
thing was
What does that
workload.
mean? Light at the end of the tunnel.
Was workload, right? We had a bunch of new people
Oh, okay.
joining our team, so that's my work itself. But like in my startup that I'm working on right now, man, I've been doing nothing, bro. To be quite honest,
Oh,
I've just been taking a
yeah,
break.
yeah,
It's so annoying because it's like I don't know if things are opening up, if they're closing down.
yeah.
So I'm like, let me just wait and see what happens at this point in time, because I've been talking to like mentors, business coaches, and like they're all telling me different things. Like it's hard to make a decision. So I'm taking
It's
a
hard
break
to
on that. Go ahead.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, sometimes it's even challenging, right? I learned a new term, toxic positivity, where sometimes you listen to many voices, you don't even know for yourself like what you want,
Yeah,
right? I think that makes
toxic
sense.
toxic positivity, right? Like, isn't that when like people are just too positive and you just don't know if it's
Well, they're
real or
giving you
not?
all these best piece of advice, and like, you should do it now, you should change your life, like stop being a bum. And people don't realize that life is long, and it's about
Yeah,
progress. It's a cycle, and
there's ups,
I
there's downs.
yeah, ebbs and flows, man, right?
Yeah, and there's like
It's like that
times in
time you
which
told me that time you told me you're congratulating me, complimenting me on starting my YouTube channel. But
mm,
instead of boasting me the whole time, you were like, but keep in mind, like, you're right here, right now. You're at the
yeah,
bottom. And I'm like, thank you. And you're like, no, but that's what it is. Like, here, when you started, you were like this, and now you're like this, and now you have to keep going until you reach another peak.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and
and
that's all it is, man. Yeah.
you'll see, because like the cool thing about YouTube or anything that's a visual content is when something hits, everything else goes up.
Yeah,
You know,
everything connects, man. Yeah, for sure. I read
so
that too, actually, once. For any creatives or entrepreneurs, is like, I really do believe that. Like, no streak of good luck, and then all of a sudden, like, everything will connect because you're so
yeah,
prepared and you've done all you can to
yeah,
reach that point. Like Tarantino, I love my boy Tarantino. He was on Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know if you
yeah.
caught him.
Didn't he say like he won't do another movie? That's what
Yeah,
I
he won't do
read.
another movie. Let's
Yeah.
be honest, who knows? I believe him, and I'll tell you why. Because
Mhm.
he's a writer, right? He wants to get into novelizations.
Yeah.
He wants to do Broadway, so I can see that happening, right? He's not just like pulling it out of his ass. But I bring him up because of the point of he was talking about how, like, in his 20s, I wanted to send you just that snippet. In his 20s, he had no luck. He was treated
Mhm.
by shit by everybody, right? Like, the business, no one wanted to work with him, girls, whatever. And when he made his movie Reservoir Dogs, right, he was hesitant because the guy's like, "Oh, give me 3 months, I'll find a budget for you, because this is like worthy material to be made into a feature film, to have a high production value." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," because he didn't believe it, right? Everyone always tells him, "I'll do this for you, I'll do that." And nevertheless, he believed in his heart, and he said from that day on, like he had the next 7 years, 8 years, right between Pulp Fiction, getting deals with Miramax, um, it just was amazing, right, for him. It was prosperous, but you know, it's an anomaly too, right? Not everyone has that same journey, but I think what someone could take from that is the principle of staying consistent, staying
Yeah.
committed, and believing in your passion, right? Believing in yourself, and people will find you. We've been talking about from day one. By the way, I gotta always insert this. He's my episode one
Mm-hmm.
guest, Christian Alphonse here.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about this from the first episode, man. That
Mm.
consistency.
Consistency in showing up. That's another big part. You gotta show up.
You know that's my line, bro. You got to just
Yeah.
show. Even if you're bad at the job, you still show
Yeah.
up.
You still show up. Show up. Show up.
People
Yeah.
have a hard time, you know.
Hardest time. That's the hardest thing to do sometimes. Just show up, man.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not.
here.
Listen, I'm not free from that, right?
Yeah.
You know, we all have our
Mm-hmm.
hesitancies. We and I shared those experiences, but I think what separates us from a lot of the people is, you know, we're proud to say, well, I did it, right? Like I showed
Mm-hmm.
up and I tried, right? Even if we
Yep.
fell flat on our face, it's like,
Yep.
hey, you showed up, you did your part.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been learning about this pandemic is a lot of projects that, you know, I've worked on, so many more contexts have come out of it. So it just shows you that you got to keep going, you know, you got to keep creating.
Can we talk about your project? Because like Beautiful is like touring what like all the globe now.
Yeah, yeah, it is, man. Thank you. It's they basically did a European tour.
Yeah.
I think it's finishing up soon. I think it's gonna come to North America now. There's some festivals out there. Yeah, man, it's been quite a ride for sure.
It's so fun to watch because it's like it's now it's like what like I'm assuming at this point it's like because I think I saw it in Brazil. That's the Brazil at one point. No, huh?
No, no, no. I might have been Munich or something, or
Munich. Okay, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because in my head
Istanbul.
I'm like this guy's like here now. He's there over there. Like how many palm dog are you gonna get in that poster?
Yeah, right. I know. No, that's the beauty, man. And I remember that from day one. I remember when I set my sights out to be a director. Like a friend once wisely told me, he's like, you gotta get into as many festivals as you can, no matter how
Yeah.
small, no matter how big, because you use that for leverage
Mm-hmm.
on your next project, or you use that as a way to get funding, right?
Yeah.
So when these
Yeah.
festivals were reaching out, man, I took that advice. I was like, hey, you know what? I gotta just, first of all, at first it was all about the vanity, like, oh, like
Mm-hmm.
I get that attention, that recognition. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, no, like the more the better. You know,
Yeah.
if a festival is reaching out and saying, we want you to
Yep.
submit, we'll give you a discount. Hey, you know, I got some money saved up. Let me do it. Right. This is my passion. This is an investment, as I call it, at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day. It's not something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I can proudly showcase it, right? So I'm
Yep.
really happy that I'm really grateful. Shout out to Robert DeMario.
Mm-hmm.
We did a podcast with him. He was telling me his experiences in soccer and what led to it. And the reason why I'm happy you brought up Beautiful, because it's an inspiration for not only for myself but for people to kind of look at it as, we always talk about it. You don't need $100 million budget. You don't need the
Yep.
big cameras. You just
Yep.
need a vision, and you just
Yep.
need a camera at the end of the day,
Yep.
and you're a director. And
Yep.
that film is not 20 minutes, it's not 30 minutes, it's not an hour.
Yep.
It's 1 minute and a half, and
Yep.
it's still got attention. And I'm firmly believing this philosophy, man, is the story is above everything. You know, you could have the best score, the best style, the best shots, but if you don't have the story, if you don't have that execution, people won't see it, right? The market won't
Yeah.
find it.
And what's so cool about you doing this podcast too, is like seeing the progression of it. Because right before you're using what like your like little
I was using my little
little
headphones,
thing.
bro.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
you have this going on
I
and
was in a
like
dark room. I was like
yeah
fucking with yellow lighting.
yeah. Now it's slowly building into something, and like, it's just cool for people to see that growth, man. That's a cool thing. It's just seeing that journey.
For sure,
Um,
man.
so that's gonna be awesome, man. And Beautiful is out. Everyone should watch it. I just in
Yeah.
those festivals. It's
Yeah, I
really
got
good.
some. Thank you.
I,
I
I
thank
told
you. I
you
appreciate
it
it.
was good. I was like, yo,
Oh no,
like
I know you don't bullshit me, man. Like
yeah, like
Christian's
that
the
was really
first
good.
guy, like my other friend from Haiti, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
shout out to Carl.
Mm,
You'll tell me, man, if something needs work or something needs to be fixed. But you've been more than supportive. There's a couple more projects coming out in the summer that I'll be happy to share with you and the audience.
yeah.
Cracked, and another one I shot called Act of War, which I'm pretty
Mhm.
happy with. I'm just in post production right now, kind of editing it. Small film, but again, the power of storytelling. If
Yeah,
it's
man.
there, it'll pack a really big punch. And
Small fi- don't doesn't sound like a small film. A film's the film.
No, no, I know, but I'm saying is that everyone wants to go big or go home kind of thing, right? But you have to start in small steps, as Christian once
Yeah,
reminded me, right?
yeah. Everyone, you mean like those film students?
No, no. Hey, listen, I was one of those guys, and well, I don't know if you knew me at 17, but uh, bro, I wrote my first script because I write scripts on the side, like feature length,
Yeah.
right? And my first
Mm,
script, 120 pages, from the looks of it, with the action, the cars
mm,
I needed to be used, $100 million probably, right? Like 50 million at least.
mm, mm,
And me, I'm like, that's gonna be my directorial debut.
mm,
I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna be like a
mm,
Tarantino, whatever. You know, Fast forward 10 years later, it's like, it requires a little bit more time. You know what I mean?
mm,
It requires a little bit more of a progression. And I'm thankful for that, right? Like, do you want to you once told me that something along the lines of, you want to make it big tomorrow, right?
mm,
And then fall flat on your face and then be gone the next day? Or do you
mm.
want to like slowly build to that and then
Yeah.
last forever, right?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work to like think about that, but it's the reality, man. You gotta really
Yeah.
remind yourself. Do you want to be a Charlie D'Amelio, like blow up tomorrow, right? And then you have to coast on that for the rest of your life, or do you want to like
Man.
build to that career, right? Be like a
Yeah, that
Drake,
girl.
right? Take 10 years to like build it.
That girl's everywhere, by the way. Charlotte
Yeah,
D'Amelio.
I know, man.
She must be exhausted at this point.
Is that an
That's what
industry
me.
plant? Is that an industry plant?
I don't think it's the industry plant. I don't know. Like when I watch her videos and I watch her and her family, and like I'm just trying to understand like what's amazing about them,
Right, Sam.
and I I just don't get it. But then again, like I'm not the audience. Like I'm not their audience. You know,
Listen,
maybe
I hate
it's
to,
just.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I hate to sound like, no, I don't want to make it sound like we're shitting on her. We like,
We're not
you know,
shitting on her. We're fascinated by her.
No, no, but that's what I'm saying
We're
is like I'm saying
fascinated.
for the cynical people, right? Like, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, look at him, but I'm truly fascinated. It's
I'm
like
fascinated by this.
you throw up a few dance videos, and next thing
Yeah.
you know, you're getting sponsored, you're doing Super Bowl commercial. It's quite an anomaly for sure. And
Okay, just one more thing. Remember that guy on Target, Jared from Target? Remember that a couple years ago?
Jared from Target or Jared from
Yeah,
Subway? What are you talking about?
no, like there was this guy
Jared
from
from
Target. It was
Oh,
like other girls were like fascinated by him.
oh
He
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah. He's
blew
a
up on
cashier,
Twitter.
right?
Yes, remember like was
Yeah.
it Jared or something?
I don't
I don't
know,
remember.
James, or I don't know, maybe.
I don't
Yeah,
know, man. Like when that happened, I was also fascinated by that because he was a cute guy. I get girls see it find him cute,
right.
but I'm like, other than that, like what's so so fascinating about
Yeah,
him?
well, we live in that world, right? The digital age where everything
I don't get
could
it.
become a trend, everything could become a fad in an instant, right? And it could also
Man,
fall in that same speed. So,
normalcy, man. Normalcy will eventually become popular now, so it's weird.
yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Yeah,
You and I are very much the same that way. We're fascinated by social
so
media
fascinating.
and how it affects people, and we're gluttons for that too, right? Like, look at the Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh,
Trailer comes out, we're ready to go.
oh
You see
man.
it?
Oh, I've seen it. I'm like
Nice.
waiting for the theaters to be open up so I can watch right away.
Oh wait,
Man,
you haven't seen it? You have
I
seen it, or
haven't,
you haven't?
I haven't,
Oh, you
I've seen
haven't
the
seen it.
thriller.
Oh, the trailer. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Han's back. They kind of ruined that part for me,
Yeah,
but
like
I'm
why
still
not wait? Yeah.
like just let that be something that's revealed while I watch the movie. That's gonna make me love the movie 5 times more. But yeah, man, I'm gonna give them my money. I think I might watch it twice. Fuck it, man. I
Man,
love
you're a
Fast and
diehard
Furious.
fan. I love it.
I love Fast and Furious. It's just like I think globally, it's just one of those movies globally that's just loved. That's just being loved. Like this as a series. I definitely understood when John Cena apologized to China about calling
Yeah, I heard about
Taiwan.
that.
Yeah. So people that don't know, John Cena, who stars in Fast and Furious, I think he plays who's brother? He plays Jason
Isn't he the
Statham's
brother
brother.
of Toretto or no?
No, I think it could be Toretto's brother. Could be. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, he was doing a press run in Taiwan or in China
Yeah.
because like that movie in Southeast Asia and Asia itself is like it's like a whole completely different monster. It's very hard for Hollywood to have movies like that if it's not like a action
Right.
superhero movie like a Marvel franchise or like what's another one franchise, a DC franchise. It's very hard for those like action type movies to do very well overseas. And
Nice.
then like I think definitely did hurt the Fast and series money in terms of box office overseas. by John Cena's comment, I'm sure like Chinese government, made sure that that movie didn't release wasn't like a wide release.
Did he insult the
But
government? Something along those
yeah,
lines, I remember hearing.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't quite explain. He
Yeah.
called Taiwan a country,
Right.
and and the Chinese government is like, "What the heck? Taiwan is not a country; it's part of China." And he apologized and he spoke in Mandarin while apologizing,
Which is
and people
amazing
were
on its own.
upset. But people, yeah, that's crazy as an American to do that.
Yeah, but people are
Uh,
upset because of his. Like Joe Rogan was talking about it, how he was
yeah,
just so easy to conform uh, to their policies and apologize, like showing that cultural
yeah.
change.
But like no, I've been thinking a lot about that. Clearly, for me, like I love democracy,
Right,
and I understand like like you need to call Taiwan a country. Like I will say that. But at the same time, you don't live there. You're not part of that government. You're not part of that structure. You are a visitor in that country.
right.
You can have your own opinion about it, but you keep your opinion to yourself.
Hmm.
So like yeah, so I don't really agree or disagree. I don't really know how I feel about him calling it a country. To be quite honest, because it's like it's not your business. You don't live you don't live in that country. But at the same time, like I would personally call Taiwan a country myself. You know,
Yeah. Well, it's a human mistake what you're getting at, right? Like it's a human error, I should say.
and all
But there's a
country be
lot of
free.
politics.
I'm gonna say that
Yeah.
as well. Like
There's all. I think what it is that what people took from that situation, that predicament, is he said what he had to say, right? He said that provided misinformation that Taiwan's a country, but because of the influence, right, the Chinese audience, the market, I should say, has on the amount of money a
yeah,
movie makes for a studio,
for,
right?
for
They,
people to
they can't
understand,
afford
like
they can't afford to piss off 2 billion people.
yeah, but for people to understand, China controls the movie industry. Like they
Mm,
select which form movies gets played
right, right,
in their marketplace.
right.
That's why it's so important that Hollywood has a good connection with China.
Of course, of
I
course.
only people understand that. Like it's not like in Canada where like any movie gets picked up
No,
here.
yeah, yeah, and it's
You
up to the
don't like
audience to find it. Yeah,
yeah, like in China, it's like there's certain movies you cannot watch.
right.
The Chinese firewall protects the Chinese citizens from certain content.
Yeah, they're after their own
So
interests, right? Whatever serves the government's agenda or policies. Yeah,
100%, hundred
yeah,
percent. So like I understand like why John Cena had to apologize, but also to like personal opinion. You can't be personal opinion, but like man, like I don't know, man. I don't know. Like,
it's a
what would
tricky
you do
subject.
in that situation? You're a
Well,
big
I can understand
star.
it. I can understand it from a business point. You know what I mean? Like why he did it. I don't think it was his own discretion, right? Like his own. It was voluntary. Like he had to do it because there's a lot riding on the line, right? His between his agent, his contracts.
Yeah,
Um,
his contract
but
is big
yeah,
as
it's a
well.
tricky situation. If I was in the same situation, you know, I would say probably I would have to conform because I don't know, like it's part of your job at the end of the day. Like people are so
Yeah,
quick to say like, nah, fuck that, whatever. But the reality is you follow policies every day and
yeah,
procedures at work. What makes you think
yeah,
you're going to be different when you
yeah.
have millions of dollars on the line and your future of your career, right?
I
So I'm not saying
it's
that
only
I would be like in that situation. I don't really know how I would act, but I could see why he did it. You know what I mean? Like regarding conforming and being that way, you know?
I have one question for you
Yeah.
because like I find that fascinating as well. If John Cena was known to be an activist for democracy, and he also apologized for calling Taiwan a country, would you think he's a hypocrite?
Well, definitely, yeah. But again, it's all
See,
political. But it's all
that's so
political
interesting.
but it's all political at the end of the day,
I'm,
right? And that's what
I'm,
I retract my comment
mhm,
because it is very highly dependent on, your reasonings, right?
mhm.
For apologizing. Because it is a
I'm,
mistake. It's a human error, you know?
yeah. I'm very curious to know like how far values go in terms of contractual obligations and money for certain people.
Yeah.
That's something I'm always interested about, especially for businesses. It's like how far your values will go for money.
Yeah, it is interesting, man. Like, cause money is has always been seen as demonic, right? But it definitely is the lifeblood for a lot of people, right? It's
But
what drives them.
not only that, it's like, like if, when you're a public company like Warner Brothers. No, who owns Fast and Furious? It's
It's Universal.
Paramount,
No,
Universal,
Universal, yeah.
Universal. Like, I think Universal is a public company, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah. I think the big five, like the studios are.
Yeah. So like, dude, there's so much to talk about the the
Speaking
studio
about
system.
studios, did you hear about Amazon? I think they acquired MGM.
MGM. Yeah, man.
That's a
I'm
move,
I'm
man.
waiting. I'm waiting for more tech companies to buy all the studios. To be quite
Right,
honest.
right.
To be quite honest,
It'll
like,
be easier to get into the market, you're saying?
no, just because like one of the biggest things about studios is like they were so dependent of the cinema system. But with the rise of technology, we watch
Right.
movies everywhere. Man, I saw a great film on my phone, and it was a great experience. I was like, wow, like why did we go to the
What's it
theater?
called, man? What's it called?
Uh, okay, it might be a little bit controversial. It's a Roman Polanski movie. It's called The
Oh,
Ghost
okay.
Rider.
Oh, okay. It's
Uh,
recent? Like it just came out?
um, it came out like a couple years ago. It stars Ewan McGregor. Ewan
Oh,
McGregor.
okay.
Pierce Brosnan stars in it as well. I don't know. People don't like Roman Polanski. I definitely understand.
Yeah, obviously if it is past.
Yeah, man,
Tarantino
messed up
accidentally
guy.
backed him up once.
Yeah, very very messed up guy, and I don't agree what he did in the past. But man, what a movie.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show you like the culture differences. You know what I mean? Like, obviously pedophilia should never be encouraged, but I remember thinking about this the other day. I know this is a random side fact, but you know how like presidents, politicians, they get into scandals for having affairs?
Yep,
The current president of France, did he not have like an affair with a woman or multiple women, and
yep,
he's still in office?
yep,
Is
yep.
that not a testament to the European mentality or what?
Well, not only that, like some presidents in the United States had dealings with that guy in just Maxwell. What's that guy's name again? I'm blanking that guy's name.
Wait, which
Um,
someone's Maxwell?
like those the people that had like that island where they took advantage of these young girls.
Oh, right,
Uh,
right, yeah. Well,
yeah,
there's all kinds of
what's
comments about that.
and the guy passed away, and like he said
Oh,
like
Epstein, yeah,
Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. Like
yeah,
people have a lot of connections with those as well, those individuals as well. I'm just letting you know, like a lot of stuff has happened in the last couple of
yeah.
years.
Well, everything is. You make a good point. I don't want to get too political and too into that,
Yeah.
but I have to say, like everything is very surface level. Like people don't realize that there's a lot more shadowy figures than you think.
Oh man.
You know what I mean, man? Like that. That's just one fish from the pool, from the pond, or
Yeah, man.
whatever. Yeah, like
But yeah,
there's so
let's
many
move
bigger
on.
fish.
let's,
But
let's
yeah, no, yeah. I don't know how we got into this dark topic. But yeah,
it's about
transitioning.
values and money, man. Values and money. Go
100%,
ahead.
100%. Well, it all connects, right? And
Mm,
having said that, with regards to values and money, it's going to be a hot button topic post pandemic, right? Because I know that's
mhm.
on a lot of people's minds, especially myself. Starting a business pre-pandemic, pandemic hits, and then post-pandemic, how do you recover? How do you adapt, right? How do you go into it? So I wanted to ask you, because I respect your knowledge, your experience in commerce, right?
Mhm.
Uh, what is your perspectives? What is your opinions on like post-pandemic, like how regarding employment, the housing market, any
Oh man.
positives?
Yo, not well, dude. We're gonna see. Inflation's coming.
Inflation's coming. COVID tax. There's gonna be a COVID tax when you buy chocolate
Yo,
bar now.
things are coming, people.
Yeah.
That you shouldn't buy that house. You're still working. Inflation's
You
coming.
just laid on me, eh?
Yo,
You just laid
interest
on
rate's
us.
coming. So people are spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's coming. Judgment Day is coming. Um, but yeah, honestly, so I've been out because I'm vaccinated now, and I've been out
Nice.
and seeing about.
Nice.
It's just great to see people like going to bars. I went to a couple places. I went to a couple of retail shops, just to shop, buy stuff that I needed,
Okay.
and it was cool to see all these jobs. Like every place I went, they were looking for people. So it got me wondering, like, what's going on? Like, I've never seen so many job openings or
Yeah.
job.
Before it was you need a fucking 5 years experience to get work a retail
Yeah,
job.
but yeah, it was crazy. Then I looked a bit more into it.
Well,
People that are
I
still in.
can speak to that. I think I read an article in the New York Times where a lot of people in the States, a lot of Americans our age, in their
Yeah.
20s, are not going back to restaurant retail
No.
jobs because, excuse me, because of they kind of did some self-reflection, right?
Mm,
Introspection on who they wanted to be, what they wanted to do, created a
mm-hmm.
business, started a business, wanted to pursue that, found new hobbies, and reg- at the very least, they had their stimulus check, right?
Yeah.
That they said to themselves. And
That
when
paid more.
people see, I worked retail for many years, and some jobs were better than others. And when they were bad, they were bad. There were times when I would get like $300 biweekly, believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
because of the shifts, the hours, and this was at a high traffic mall. So you can imagine like the frustration I had, right? So what I'm saying is that when I hear those stories, I can say, yeah, that I agree that would happen. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people won't return to work because they have $2,000 a month,
Yeah.
and they're not begging their manager for more hours.
Yeah.
They get to stay at home and they get to focus on their own hobbies, right?
Yeah.
What they do with their time is their business, but yeah, you're not. What an incentive! Stay at home. Government's can pay 2 grand, and you can pursue your own passions and make
Man.
something of it. You know.
Man. Universal income needs to be a thing. I like. It just needs to be a thing. I.
I just want
I'm waiting.
minimum wage. I wish I get it. We're in a capitalist society, and capitalism drives
Well, like
incentives.
capitalism is a more of an American thing. Canada's not. We're not a capitalist. If you Canada's a
No,
bit
no,
more
we're not.
socialist.
Yeah, we're not as rigorous as the states, right? Like we have a
Man.
lot of regulations. Let's just look at the entertainment industry, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, we still have similar ideologies, right? And just how we manage money. Like for example, what I'm trying to get at is, the American dream, right? The founding fathers, they believe that a minimum wage should still be a sustainable wage, right? And then it was up to the individual to want the bigger house, to buy the
Mm-hmm.
better car. But with a minimum wage job, you should be able to still afford a house or afford a car. And times evidently have changed, and I understand that. But when do you draw the line? Like the
They say
populations. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, 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 no. Sorry. Go ahead.
I
You're
just want
making
to
good
say, like,
points.
the population's only going to be increasing. There's only going
Mm-hmm.
to be more and more people that are like fighting for these high income jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like this is speaking from experience where was told my whole life. You go to school, you graduate, and you'll
Yeah.
find a job that pays decently, and you'll be able to move out by a certain time, whatever. And I was sadly mistaken. And
Mm-hmm.
that's in my lifetime. So you can
Yeah.
imagine like the Gen Zs and our kids and their kids. Like, what's gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen, right?
They're screwed. Let's just speak frank.
Don't be
In
so
your
crass.
sentiment,
Yeah.
Dan, Daniel, like your sentiment is a sentiment that many of us have. Look, the issue is it's quite simple. Speaking about Americans here, because Canada, we do a bit. We're gonna be just fine. Canada's gonna be just fine. We just
Okay.
need to make more houses, and we need to stop thinking that living in the city is a big thing. It's not. Small communities, you can make a good life. You can have a good life living in a small community, and I think more and more people our age that live in Canada are realizing that. One thing we talk about the states is like you cannot have minimum wage and also have a free market that's supposed to maximize shareholders' profit. How can you maximize profit? You lower your expenses.
Right.
Part of your expenses is paying labor.
Yeah.
Okay, if we can pay people less, we'll make more. People will invest more, will give us more money for us to do more R&D, for us to build more product, for us to be more innovative. Thus creates the cycle, right? We'll lose employees, we'll do automation, we'll decrease our expenses for automation because of automation. And then we get more money because we're innovating. It's quite simple. Like when Adam Smith, because all these concepts about capital market or free market comes from Adam Smith.
Right.
When he created this thing, people felt to forget that one key point that he made. It has to better the market, it has to better the group. And that's the thing. People in the States, like in terms of market, they're all individuals. They don't think about the group, they think about the individuals.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be better than this person.
Everyone's their
You
own
know,
brand.
yeah, exactly. And that's good. And that
Yeah.
makes a market competitive.
For sure.
But like, because of that, we have like I can talk to you on this sweet ass laptop that like weighs like 2 pounds. How
Yeah.
incredible is that? That's because of the free market. At the same time, for this market, for this laptop to cost what it costs,
Yeah.
that labor and that technology, man,
Someone
like
has to lose, really. Let's be
someone has to
honest.
lose. And
Yeah.
and that comes back to what I've always been telling you about. Why do people think that everybody deserves to be happy? Everybody deserves to win.
I
That's
know.
what boggles me.
Yeah.
There's gonna be winners and losers in life, people. Like
Yeah.
I hate to sound so strict and sound so direct, but like people need to understand that like you're gonna lose and you're gonna win. You have to decide what you want to win at and what you want to lose at.
Yeah.
That's what you get to decide, and
Yeah.
that's what democracy is so great. And that's why I ready to live in Canada. I don't know if I want to live in the States, to be quite honest. In
Yeah.
Canada, we're a bit more socialist. We have systems set in place to help those in need, which I love. But like,
Yeah. I
I would not
benefited
be able
from
to,
them. Yeah.
but I would not be able to live in a communist country just because
No.
like
No.
I
No.
love competition. I think competition is good,
Of course. Yeah.
but
I'm.
like certain.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, no, no. I'm saying, yeah, I agree with everything. I'm not definitely not a communist, or else what's the point of going after my passion? Like, obviously, I want to tell the stories I want to tell, but
I'm
there's
not a
a,
Marxist as well. Like
yeah, exactly. But my whole thing is, I don't know. I just feel like, sometimes just with how everything's going, right? Like, there just seems to be a lot of burdens, right?
yeah,
And, you could just, sometimes like you struggle, man. Like, you just don't know.
yep.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and it's not about the pandemic, if you know what I mean. Like, you don't know where
Welcome
you're going to be in
adulthood.
5 years. Exactly. Hey,
Welcome to
there you go.
adulthood. Welcome to the world, man.
I know, right? Christians welcoming in. I love it. Uh,
Welcome to the world, people. Not, but like, and I agree with you 100%. The sentiments that you have, those are not new sentiments. I have those sentiments as well. And
because you
I'm just
shared
talking to
these.
the
Yeah.
audience. Like, you're not
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
We all have
Yeah.
those same exact sentiments. You don't have to be Jeff Bezos to feel great. Jeff Bezos, I'm sure that God probably has the same sentiments that we have. Like, what the fuck are we doing? What am I doing?
Which is so
There's
scary.
uncertainty.
Yeah.
I'm going to the spaceship. Why? Like, I want a life. Why am I going to space for?
It's true, man. That's true.
Like, I'm telling you, all these sentiments that people are having, everyone had it. But you need to understand, man. Like in life, you're not gonna have everything you want. You gotta pick
Yeah.
2 or 3 things that you want and
Yeah.
just go buy it. But yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like I,
Nothing. Yeah.
but in terms of the economics here, we're gonna be just fine. Canada's gonna be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
People overbought houses. They're gonna be put in a very tough position. They might get loans in terms of their household for the house, so loans against their house, and use their house as collateral to buy more things. That might be a very tricky spot that they might be. But I'm
Yeah.
assuming those people are very knowledge about their finances and they have parents or people with siblings that can give them money in need. If not, we're gonna
Yeah. I
see
heard a
more
lot of
homeless.
cosigns. I heard a lot of
Yes.
cosigns. Yeah.
If not, we're gonna see a lot more homeless people on the street.
Well, that's
But
pretty drastic, but yeah, you're right, man. It's true.
drastic. But that's what
No, no, no.
happens, man.
I can't. No, because I'm from an area. I'm from an area that is regarded as like upper class, middle class because of the value of the housing, right? Because
But
when I was
dude,
growing, and the market just like changed it for me. Like when I was growing up here, these houses were like 200,000. But what I'm saying is that like to process that like homeless, it's like people can only save you for so long, right? Like if you make some bad decisions, right? You're gonna, like you said, you could be homeless, you could be shit out of luck. SOL.
all it is 2 or 3 bad decisions.
Yeah.
You lost your job, you over borrowed, and you can't pay your bills, and the bank wants to collect because they
Right.
see that you're being delinquent, and that's it. You're homeless. Boom.
And how's the housing in Ottawa? Is it expensive or
Hot,
what?
man. It's hot, dude. It's
No, but is
hot.
it
It's very
expensive?
expensive.
It's not expensive as Toronto, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, man. Of course,
So you're
of
are you
course,
setting your sights, or are you waiting for things to die down a bit?
man. I'm just saving my money, saving as
Good.
much as I can.
Good for you. Yeah.
I don't to personally myself like my work, like my day-to-day job. Man, I'm very fortunate. They're allowing me to like work anywhere in Canada. So I'm not really like burdened to stay in Ottawa. If I want to, I can just go
Oh, that's
live
amazing.
in a cottage. So I have no issues living in college, man. I think college life would be
That's
sweet.
amazing, man. Yeah, that'd be beautiful for your mental
Are you
health.
kidding
Yeah.
me? I paid 200,000, 300,000. I have 5 bedrooms in the lake, and my Wi-Fi is great because Eli Bus has like
Yeah. And
Starlink.
if you do want to visit the city, you
You
take a
can
car
just
and you visit.
take a car and visit the city, and like, and that's the thing. People want to live downtown in a city, have this perfect house, and live that way. And I get this dog and have 5 kids, and each kid has a room. Like, it's not gonna be the dream that you want. It's gonna be something, but not the dream that you have for yourself. And you're just gonna have to be an adult, swallow the bullet, and just do that instead. But people
Yeah.
don't want to do that, and that's what's killing me. That is killing me.
Well, you have
Can I
to
do it
have
one more time? Like, it's
killing me.
killing
Yeah,
me.
Christian. That's what's gonna be the name of the podcast. Killing me with Christian Alphonse.
It's killing
um,
me.
no, but
Go ahead.
no, I'm just gonna say like that's really the issue, right? Is what drives you, and if it's not monetary, what else is it, right? Like you just described a linear path, and maybe that's something that I'm coming to terms with. Um, it's I bring my story up a lot because it's surreal to me because I don't
Hmm.
know anyone I can relate to. I don't
Hmm.
have like an uncle that's in film that can
Yeah,
tell me like this is what you're supposed to feel at this age.
yeah,
And the reason why I do these podcasts is because I'm reaching out to entrepreneurs or people like yourself. A photographer I spoke to the other day where he was telling me like, bro, at 26, you think I had it figured out? I was freaking out every day, like if I
yeah.
was going to make it. And it's just refreshing, but it's much needed because I don't have that dialogue. Everyone I know, family, extended, whatever, friends, peers, especially the area I'm from, uh, no one knows that path, right? The creative venture. And forget my like unconventional path. I'm talking about like what you just described, like the picket fence, whatever. Like everybody's gunning for that we know.
Yeah,
Everybody's gunning for
yeah.
that. And what you
And
just described puts a smile on my face. And if I were to go downstairs and tell my parents, they'd be like, "What do you mean you're gonna live in a cottage out in the middle of the woods in nowhere?" Like you just can't process that. You know what I mean? Like
oh,
living on your own, like out in
well,
nowhere.
well, like, look,
And not to shit
like,
on them. I'm just saying like it's just
no,
different
no, no,
perspectives.
no. I'm not gonna shut them. I'm gonna say something that really struck to me.
Okay.
Because when I talk to people, because like, as much as I can, I try to put myself. I'm trying to live myself in a like, put myself in the real world,
Right.
right? Someone told me there's two type of people in this world. There's people that use words to express reality, and there's
Yeah.
people that use words to create their own reality. Like, do you see the difference there? People that
Like
use
people that
words
use words to express their own
to, ex-
reality,
to express reality,
to express reality. Yeah.
and people that use words to create their own reality.
Like manifestation.
But not, manifestation is included.
Okay.
But like, I'm the type of person, I use words to express reality, good or bad. This is why it is.
You're a realist. Like you're very practical. What you're saying.
Yeah, and like, I cannot be with someone that tries to create their own reality, because that's a very dangerous thing to do.
That's me.
Oh, but I wanted to ask you though. You did ask you? Explain.
No, I'm saying I'm carving my own path, and you were commending me on it
Yeah, no, but like, you're
throughout the
carving
pandemic.
your own path, but you know reality.
Right, right. Like I'm not talking like, oh, I'm Quentin Tarantino. Like, watch out for me. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm Quentin Tarantino, man.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
make like 5 Oscars, bro. Like,
yeah,
who
yeah,
can
yeah.
touch me? No, you're like, no, like, I'm not Quentin Tarantino. I'm Daniel. I'm making short films. I would love to make a feature, but right now my capacity, I make short films, and look, it's doing very well. It's touring Europe right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Self
might hit.
awareness,
No,
self awareness. Yeah,
I'm telling you, that's so critical.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
I
seeing
got you.
more and more people, and that's why social media is so dangerous, man. Because
Yeah,
people
I
are
gotta,
just.
I know. It's hard because we use it, I'll be like for myself, right? If anyone's struggling, I use it for my business.
Mhm.
Problem is that every time I go on, it's always like, what the hell am I on this for? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's this stupid, vicious circle that I have, this love-hate relationship. And I think you just have to know, like people say, like balance it, not to ignore it, but it's hard because you're human. Like your brain tricks you. Like you can't see something and ignore it. Like you just, if you're at a vulnerable time, does that make sense? It'll captivate you the wrong way.
man. Look, man. I love what we're talking about, but like I have to be very careful with the things I say because people are gonna think I'm a dick. But
You're just very blunt. I love it.
like people need to tell the truth. The best way you can help someone is telling the truth. Hey, I'm about to buy this house. Okay, what do you do for work? Oh man, like I'm flipping burgers. Okay, like you can make good money. I'm making minimum wage. Okay, who's gonna help you buy this house? My parents gonna help me buy this house. Are they gonna pay the mortgage? I don't know. They're gonna give me 20K for the down payment, and hopefully I make enough to pay the mortgage. In my head, I'm like, this guy. If that guy loses one paycheck, he's done.
So you're saying accept your situation in life, surrender to it, and
Yeah.
don't give in to personal attacks. I mean, or pure attacks like
No,
judgment.
like to me, like I was talking to this guy. I'm like, to me, I'm like, man, like I told the guy the truth. I'm like, yo, you shouldn't buy this house. He was really upset with me.
Oh, this is a
I was,
recent story. This is an
yeah,
actual
like this.
story. Yeah.
This is a real thing.
True
I was trying to tell
story.
you. This is
Yeah.
a real thing. This is a real thing. He was very upset with me. I'm like, don't buy this house. So, oh well, like what are you talking about, man? My parents didn't give me the money, like blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, well, like buy the house. I'll come for the housewarming. I'll buy your next bottle of scotch. I'll celebrate
This
with you.
guy. Yeah.
But let me know right now, bro. Like you need a better job because mortgage is gonna go up, interest is gonna go up, and to be quite honest, like is your parents will just pay your mortgage for 20 years, 20, 30 years. Because there's no way you're gonna be able to afford this house with the job that you have. All this to say, like all this just to say, because like he's like creating his own reality in this world that like he can afford something when he clearly cannot. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, accept your reality
Yeah.
and do not create your own reality when people like trying to push you to your own reality. I don't know if I'm making a good point here, but
No,
like
no, no.
that's
I
something
think
that's
I think I know what you're saying. Are you the best way to describe it? What people that have viewed my podcast like about me is that I use my own experiences or my own stories to help the guest articulate
mhm.
their story better, right? Like I use it as I try to find a way to relate it to myself. And I think what you're saying is like, um, do I just find a six-figure job right now, or do I just like find an office job so I can play into that reality, create the reality that other people want while putting all the work that I put into my film passion and my contacts to the side? Is that what you kind of mean? Like it's kind of like not
But
being aware, giving into societal pressures?
yeah, societal pressure is a big play, but like also too, like like know who you are, know where you're at in life, and don't go pretend to be something you're not.
Hmm.
Like, don't create our own reality. Like, I'm telling you, like, how often have you seen people buying all this equipment for film, thinking they're gonna become the biggest director in the world, and they never shot anything.
Yeah. Don't,
Like,
yeah. Well, that
like,
was my rule from day one. Remember, I told you,
mhm,
I said, it's tempting. You see people online, they got all these fancy cameras, the red camera, whatever. And there's part of me that's like, hey, but I was really real with myself, and I'm proud of
mhm,
myself for saying this. And I told you, I said until those clients come, until I start seeing a progression in the work,
yeah,
I'm not going to invest that money, because those
yeah,
people that invest the money, because I've worked with those people, those videographers on set that've been doing it 10 years. They
mhm,
tell me when they started at 21, they had a shitty, crappy camera,
yeah,
right? My camera's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It's a Sony A7 III, but they had a DSLR, just basic, and one lens, and they just did the job. And then as over
yeah,
time, they progressed, right? They bought their own
mhm,
equipment to the point where they're like a one-man show. Like they bring everything,
mhm,
lighting, grip, everything. And today, like for example, right, I'm starting to venture off. I'm starting to do a little bit more work, right? Short films, dance video promos. I want to expand market my 94 collection. What do? I invest, or I'm looking to invest in a monitor, a little seven
yeah,
inch monitor, because the little screen on the A7 III doesn't do it justice. That's yeah, I think a valid investment, right? Because
mhm,
you're growing with your career. You
yeah,
don't see me saying, Christian, I'm buying a red camera tomorrow. Let's go. It's like, no. Do you even know if they want you as a DP on these
yeah,
projects? Do you even know if you want to be a DP? What if you want to be a director and you don't even touch a camera again? Right.
mhm,
So I'm just kind of like slowly progress, but I know what you mean, man. It's so important. And don't like that situation. I don't know who that person is, but the mortgage, right? Unfortunately, a lot of people like, yeah, they feel this need to move out, and I get it. I get it. You don't want to be. We're social creatures. You don't want to talk to people and say I'm living at home. You don't want to talk to people and say I have a shitty job, whatever. But you have to accept your reality. You have to. You can't bullshit people.
mhm,
You can't just like tell them things just to make yourself feel better, because it's only hurting you at the end.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And these people that you don't even care about, let's be honest, like Gary Vee, I know you have your qualms about this guy, but he said it, bro. He went,
Mm.
why are you doing things to impress people you don't like, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're all guilty of this. I know myself that there are times when I say, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, and then I say, am I doing it for myself or am I doing it so I
For
don't feel the judgment?
yeah.
So it's an interesting tug of war. It's an interesting conflict. Patience is a big thing too.
Yeah.
Um, and life's all about, like, life, as cliche as it might sound, it really is a journey, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I'm in a dark place, or I might
Yeah.
think I'm in a dark place, you know, in a year's time, like, things can change. A
Oh
year ago,
yeah.
things, a year ago, you know what I mean? Look how much a year has changed a year ago,
Yeah.
right? And if you really want to see changes, like, look at yourself. Like, how much
Yeah.
has changed in the last month? How much have you grown? How much have you learned? What new context have you made? So I think it's all about progression, buddy. And,
Yeah.
that's why I love having these conversations with you.
Man.
I've always been a good sport that way, like talking about comparison and progression. And
Man.
you've just been
I,
keeping it real, man.
yeah, but like one of the biggest things that I love to see in your journey is like I remember when we met.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. You
I
always
want to
remind
do
me, buddy.
movies.
Yeah. But you were, but you know what, man? But I could
I
be
was
wrong. But
yeah. Go ahead.
when I talked to you, but I could be wrong. When I talked to you, as much as I was like, I want to do movies, and I had like one film on my YouTube channel, I feel like you believed in that fire. Like
Yeah.
you knew through my eye, like, that I wasn't fucking around. I just I was waiting for that moment, right?
Yeah.
Get serious, to get focused.
Well, you're well. I don't know. Like you're a bit different than other
Hmm.
people that I've met. Because like
Okay.
when you like work in that industry, like you just know people are just trying to say things that they don't mean, i.e., create their own reality. I
A lot
just
of people that
knew,
we worked with. Yeah.
like, oh, my job's important. No, it's not. Um, but anyways,
What was
like,
different, man?
yeah, it's just a bit different. I just knew it was a little bit different. Something a little bit different about you.
It was a
You
different vibe. Yeah.
you said something and you did it.
Thanks,
No,
buddy. Yeah.
that in itself.
But that's what I'm
No,
saying, is that when I spoke to you, right, I saw in your eyes, like, you believed me. You know what I mean? Like, when I
no,
spoke, it wasn't like,
yeah, because you did it.
oh, okay, because I did it. What was it? Because I proved. I think you know what solidified it. I think
Hmm.
because I remember you, like, doing your thing, networking, whatever.
Hmm.
By the way, one of the happiest days, because your energy, you
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about. That department just
yeah,
lit up when
yes,
you walked in.
yeah,
And I remember telling you, like, I'm a director, whatever. And then I think it was that competition, right?
yeah,
Or one of the sharks at one of the Dragons on Dragons Den.
yeah. Like
And I wrote the
Razorback,
script and
whatever.
I shot and I edited it. And I think that's what it was. That we kind
Yeah,
of, like, understood each
man.
other. Yeah.
L- Like so many people talk about doing things, not all of them do anything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like like
It's the tenacity, right? That's
it's
important.
not it's not the tenacity, it's the execution. That's the thing. That's all it
Mm.
is, man. You say you're gonna do something, you just do it. And
Right.
like and once you do something, I'm like, okay, this guy can actually execute what he's doing because he said he's
Right.
gonna do it. He did it.
Right.
I'm like, I that in itself I respect, especially in a creative field because there's so many people that pretend like they're gonna do something, they never do anything. They just like to talk about it, i.e., create their own reality.
Oh, it's such a strenuous path. It's arduous, and it's just tough, man. It's fucking tough. It's mentally straining. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But the best cure, I
Mhm.
think that's where people, like, mistaken, is to get it done. Like, to
Yeah.
just do whatever's on your mind,
Do it.
even if it's the littlest thing, like editing a frame,
Yeah.
in a picture. Like, people don't realize. I think, to speak to what Christian's trying to say about me, is that's what he sees, is like, obviously I'm not perfect and I have my days where I might procrastinate or I might think
Mhm.
about it, but eventually, like, it gets done.
Yeah.
Eventually I show, right, you the product. This
Yeah.
podcast, what a journey. Like,
Yeah.
do you remember December? I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to start a podcast. And you're like, yo, that'd be amazing. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today before coming on the podcast. I said, you were my first guest. You were the guy that actually encouraged me. You were the guy that gave me
Yeah.
a shot to give me that comfortability, right? Because I don't really want to try it out with anyone else because I'm not sure how I'm going to be. And,
Mm.
I trust your opinion. But, I remember, like, the last week of December, we were just doing a podcast. And
Yeah.
like, I'm almost at my 100th episode. And I'm so grateful for all
Yeah.
the people that are involved.
Yeah.
But you
A
told me from
hundred.
day one, it's going to be,
Say
yeah.
that I get 100 episodes. Some people start a podcast and do
Almost,
three or
almost,
four.
almost. Yeah, almost. I know, right? It's crazy. and I shouldn't take it lightly for sure. But
No,
I'm more
man.
than grateful. I'm for the people that have enjoyed the podcast, have been on it, and I have a lot more to go.
Yeah.
It's
And
not easy getting guests. I know everyone's busy, you got schedules, but
mm,
they come around eventually.
yeah. And what's crazy about podcasting? It's still somewhat new, and also too, man, you don't know who's listening.
You don't. And this is
You
what I
don't
love
know.
about this is what I honestly believe about the industry is that don't do it because you want to be the next Joe Rogan. Do it because it's an extension of who you are and you
Yeah.
want people to see who you are. Because
Yeah.
I have made so many contacts, so many friends because of this podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm going to make a living off of it, but it's nice to know that you never know if there's someone in the industry, someone that knows someone else
Yeah.
that can reach out and say, hey,
Yeah.
I'd love to work with you. I'd love to see you
Yeah.
progress. So, uh, yeah. And you always instilled that philosophy on me, man, is
Mm.
keep creating content, keep being authentic, and someone will find you, right?
Yeah, man. Keep being Daniel Calderon. People like that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, it's I was actually speaking to a guy on my morning walk today, a friend from
Mm.
high school, and he goes, by the way, like I'm loving the podcast. Like they're amazing, like keep going, whatever. And I'm just like, wow, like I was not expecting the compliment.
Mhm.
I didn't even think this guy listened to it. And it made me feel good because it's like that's what I want. I want an audience. I want people to
Sure.
listen to the
Yeah.
conversations I have with you guys, right?
It it's so funny. Like it's just so interesting because like you know you didn't even know he was listening. I'm telling you, like everyone's listening.
I know. I look at my stats, and I got people from the States, Ohio. I got people
Everyone's
from
listening, dude.
Egypt, like some random, and I'm just like, word travels, man. And
Yeah.
the whole intention, I say this on every podcast or every other podcast, the whole intention of this, bro, is to be a snapshot in time.
Yeah.
It's to be like, how cool would that be? I
But
become established, right? And people could go
mhm,
back to this conversation and be like, holy shit, that's Daniel Calderon at 26
yeah.
talking about, you know, the pandemic.
But you know what's crazy too? It's like, okay, how does YouTube actually count a view? Is it like longer than 2 minutes to count a view?
I
Because I
believe
know they
so
have
because
a
I've
yeah.
tested it myself. Yeah, longer than 2 minutes or maybe a minute. Um, but that's another thing, right? A steady. Nothing crazy. I'm not over 100 yet subscribers, but it's amazing. Like I'll have a day where like 5 subscribers will just join.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, man? And then it's like you always tell me is that's what you mean by just chipping away. Just
Yeah.
keep doing it. You never know who's gonna pop up.
And that's with you not running any ads, by the way.
Yeah. Christian always reminds me that I'm very organic, guerrilla.
Gorilla, man.
Yeah.
That's like I don't know if you understand how hard it is to like gain a subscriber on YouTube without running any ads, running any type of promotion. Because sometimes you might see in YouTube when people go to mobile, they click a button and they see another video, and it's a sponsored ad video from
Yeah.
a YouTube creator in order for them to get more views
But a
or
lot of
more
people,
people.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say like a lot of people too, right? Like it's all about tapping into the trends, right? Like the vulnerability. Like what is everyone talking about, right?
Yeah.
My videos are interesting in a way because I talk about my artworks, talk about my film career, but I
Yeah.
also talk about mental health. And people will say to me like, "Oh, why are you doing a whole bunch?" Especially my family, like, "Why are you doing a whole bunch of videos on different subjects? Like, why not just talk about your films?" And I guess I want like when you go on that channel to be like, "This is what's on this guy's mind." You know what I mean? Like, this is who he is, right? Like
Wait,
every angle.
who's telling you that your family?
Yeah, like
I don't
just
listen.
like
Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them.
no,
Just
no,
keep doing
no.
what you're doing, bro.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks, brother. I'll take that serious.
I,
No,
I,
but you know what I'm talking about. You know those videos that are
yeah.
like I discuss mental health and whatever. Like they've actually helped people. People have reached out
Yeah.
to me and they said like thanks for being informative and insightful on that. Yeah.
Man, it's so hard for men to talk about mental health, man, and that's one of the
Yeah.
things that
Thank you,
I
man.
keep I keep listening to that all the time. Your
But
videos are really good. Go ahead.
I see it as not to boast myself, but I really do see if a man can talk about mental health, it's not weakness, it's strength,
No,
it's
sure. Yeah,
courage, and that should be seen as more of like inspiring or admirable than stigmatized,
yeah,
right? And again, and whether it's my video or someone else's, I enjoy man or woman talking about mental health or something's on my
yeah,
like that to me is like any hero of mine, like a filmmaker or a celebrity, when they talk about something that was uh, vulnerable to them, that jeopardized their health or changed them for the worse. Like I want to hear that story. That's what makes them human. That's what makes them raw.
Yeah.
That's what makes them a storyteller. That's why we're able to tell great stories. People
Hmm.
forget that nowadays. I'm gonna go on a side rant here, but everyone wants a juicy story, a thought-provoking tale, and
Mm.
they don't want to watch the same crap.
Mm.
But the writers that create dark, edgy, thought-provoking, humanistic material, it's because they went through it, they experienced it, they observed it.
Yep.
Like if life was all fairy tales and everything's happy and everything's social media, you wouldn't want to watch movies ever again. There'd be nothing to root for. There'd be nothing to engage in. There's no underdog. Like I love the underdog. I love the guy that's like down on his luck, trying to make
Yeah.
it, and then he does. I always say this, like Entourage, we love that show, but season 1 to 5, that's the show for me. Everything else is like an epilogue.
Yeah.
But 1 to 5, when he's trying to make it and he's running around and whatever, granted, he doesn't have the most pathetic come up because he still gets the girls, right, and he still lives in the houses. But it's that intensity, that despair. Like, what's gonna happen next? Like, is he gonna get that movie deal? Is his friends gonna f him over? Is he gonna get that signing? I don't know. That's just my take, man. It's something I just wanted to mention.
And let's go back to those writers, that write really top provoking pieces. Like right
Yeah,
now, I'm reading to like I'm subscribed to like New York Times, Wall Street Journals, and I'm like following some of his authors.
right.
And one of the things that I like a lot about newspaper writers, they're really good at expressing reality. I feel like I'm gonna keep saying that today because it's like because what you're seeing right now about those writers that write those great pieces of film,
Right.
they're not creating reality, they're expressing the reality because they've been through it. And
Yeah.
that's what makes it good. So like anyways.
No,
anyways.
100%, man. Yeah. Anyways,
Anyways.
thank you again for coming on the podcast. Thank you again for always sharing your insights. More importantly, your journey. That's the whole intention of the podcast. And I really hope everyone learned something today. Or at the very least been inspired by it.
Yeah, man. Thanks everyone. Thanks for having me. I know
Yep.
today was a little bit of sadder tone.
What? No, it wasn't
It
Saturday
was a
tone.
bit
It's
a little
kind
bit
of
sadder tone.
it goes from upbeat to down and raw. Like we have to, like
Upbeat,
life.
down. It's just
Well,
stall.
because you tell it as it is, right? So that's how we get
Yeah.
into these subjects. But it's always important. Look, if you watch if everyone listening, listen to my podcast,
Yeah.
there's going to be episodes where it's going to make you think. There's going to be episodes where it's going to make you laugh. For God's sakes, there's an episode where I talk about Pokemon the whole an hour. But that's the whole point of this podcast, is to be, a variety of things, right? That's real life. It's
Man,
not just
yeah.
one thing. I don't believe in like niche, like analyzing movies every episode. I believe in, I want to talk about what I want to talk about, you know?
Imagine if you did that, it'll be so fucking boring.
No, but
Anyways.
it would, because let's be honest, man. A lot of people, even the people that are in film, would get bored, because that's not human beings. Everybody has different interests and likes, and I think it's so important that you show that versatility.
Mhm.
Okay.
It is. Agreed, man. Definitely agreed.
All right. So thank you again, Christian Alphonse, for joining the podcast. Thank you again for everyone for listening, and we'll talk soon.
Bye, everyone.